lifetimes. I got the package, didn't I? We need a pickup.
Hang on. Grab the light.
So, this is the top team. The rogue clones on the run from the Empire, huh?
Hello.
How juicy.
The Empire's growing stronger. We should be doing more.
You want to really be free? Then pull off this heist, and you can have a future.
Rumors are more and more clones have been questioning the Order.
Then they're traitors, like the Jedi.
You all gave up everything because of me.
We made the right choice, Omega. But there are others out there who need our help.
What sort of treachery is this?
Stay back!
We are not the enemy. The Empire seeks to establish peace and order throughout the galaxy.
Peace. Peace was never an option. We're soldiers. We do what needs to be done.
Move! You know what makes us different? We make our own choices. What do you need, Rex? Any chance I could use you for a mission?
Parents, The Bad Batch. New season streaming January 4th, only on Disney+.
Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy far from sun.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and
Trent Hoffman.
You're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 129. Today, we're discussing the first two episodes of Star Wars Bad Batch Season 2. Wow, that is a mouthful.
Yes.
Joining me today is my little buddy, Trent Hoffman.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Good. Hey,
10.
but we're bringing some. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second.
No.
Yeah. We are bringing in some muscles here. We are not alone in this endeavor. We are bringing in special guest Isaac Slaughter from Ike's Flame Podcast. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing great and super excited to be with you and talking some Bad Batch as we got Star Wars back weekly now, so excited about it. And we're going to have it for a while, so I'm excited and just excited to talk to you guys about Bad Batch and what you guys thought. So
Yes. If you want to check out Isaac, we had Isaac on first back in episode 119, so 10 episodes ago, and we were talking about Andor. So last year, we're talking about Andor episode 5, so if you want to check that out, check out episode 119 and Ike's origin story, so you can check it out. So we've been playing a lot of Twitch. We're on Twitch, playing a lot of Fortnite.
Yes, and we're on YouTube.
That's right. So
awesome.
we've been playing Fortnite. And then, we've had Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah.
How was your Christmas and New Year's?
Good. I got a life-size wrestling ring, not
not life-size wrestling ring.
But for my action figure.
Oh,
I was
to
getting
scale.
that,
To
scale to life-size wrestling, for my action figures.
Yeah. It was to scale.
Yeah,
That's
and I got
awesome.
V-Bucks.
You got some V-Bucks? Yeah, okay. Isaac, how was your Christmas?
it was great. It was a good time.
Good.
Yeah, so we actually, funny story, but kind of funny story. So last year was me and my wife's first Christmas married.
First Christmas, right.
And so we had COVID, so we couldn't see any family last year. So really, we were kind of like, this year's our first Christmas. So this has really been our first Christmas married that we've been able to hang out and hang out with family. So
you both had COVID last year?
Yeah, we both had COVID. We both got it on Christmas Eve and
Oh my gosh.
outwent everything else we were going to do. But we were super excited just to be able to hang out with family and be around family.
That's awesome.
So this is your first Christmas since you were like.
It was like his legit first Christmas because last year it didn't count.
So what about the year before that?
Well, they weren't married at that time. You see what I'm saying? So it was like their first Christmas, married. Here we go, and then Christmas Eve they got the
first
COVID.
ever Christmas. Like
no, not my first. He's a little bit older. He's not a baby.
I know, but still, if that was just if he never celebrated Christmas.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like,
yeah.
What kind of dimension are you living?
right.
What kind of
right. Exactly. So, what did you get a favorite gift, or the gift was like just hanging out with family? What did you have?
It was good hanging out with family. Probably my two favorite gifts I got some Legos, Star Wars Legos stuff.
Yeah.
So, I've been collecting like the brick heads, line stuff. So at least not. I haven't since they started, but more recently started doing that.
Yeah.
So I got that, a couple of those, and then I actually, and if you guys, any of you guys that have listened to my podcast, you guys all know I recorded my garage, and so. I also live in northern Ohio, so that means it's cold. So I got a space heater for Christmas to keep my garage warm. That way I'm warm when I'm podcasting and not bubble up.
Nice. So you're not like in gloves and like.
Wait, question. You live in Ohio?
He lives in Ohio.
Down in Ohio. Swag like Ohio. Have you heard the memes?
The memes.
I don't know if I know that.
He's talking about these memes in Ohio. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's basically in Ohio. It's weird, goofy things.
It's there's usually the Florida man or the Ohio man. Sometimes those headlines happen, but Isaac does not fall into that category.
Like if there's like Ohio, like they do a bunch of memes, like trying to sleep.
What do you know about memes?
I know about memes. There's one like trying to sleep in Ohio.
Okay.
It's basically like goofy monsters and like some kind of creepy monsters.
I know we talked about this before, but we have family in Ohio, so we value Ohio.
What do you mean we have family in Ohio?
We have Aunt Marilyn and Uncle Ted. They all live in Ohio. Cleveland, baby.
Cleveland is not in Ohio.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I live like a half an hour from Cleveland, so I can concur that.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, you're crazy. And
I didn't know. I'm sorry, Isaac.
You had a birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Not today, but it was.
Yeah, it was this week.
It was just belated birthday.
Right. Yeah. And we had fun.
Yeah, so I got V-Bucks. The best thing ever.
And then we went to Galloping Ghosts.
Oh, heck yeah.
So Galloping Ghost is like
an arcade. You basically get stay there for 24 hours.
Yeah, so you drop down like $25 and you could go all day. Mm-hmm. So and they're just like, it's a pretty large arcade. Like we didn't play every game. I mean, there's just so many games.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I mean, it definitely, after a while, you're like, okay, my wrist hurts. Let's take a break.
My wrist didn't hurt the whole game.
Yeah. We realized too, like some machines are designed to be super loud. Like they are just like loud, and it's just like, okay, we got to get away from this because it's like messing with my, I'm like having PTSD. I'm like, okay, I can't hear, like we were playing the Star Wars trilogy game where you have like the joystick and you kind of sit in it and you fly the X-Wing, you fly a snow speeder, and it was so loud. And there's two speakers like right in front of you. So I put the hoodies like on top of it, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. Like it was crazy. But it was fun. It's fun seeing a lot of old school games, a lot of new school games.
That's
awesome.
And
there's one where it's like you have to fight Boba or Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Fight the joystick. That was fun. One of my other favorite ones, there's a safari one. It's basically
a driving game.
It's a driving game, but there's
almost like a
boat thing, like a boat where you like turbo.
Like forward and backwards, and it's like a pulley. So the whole idea is like you lasso like a big animal, and you kind of bring them in, and you have to drive at the same time as they're trying to pull away.
That was
fun. You were doing good.
Yeah, I actually kind of want that game. How much is it? $2,000?
I don't know. They're usually not cheap. So they're not cheap,
Nah.
but we had fun.
Yes.
That was fun. So there you go.
All I want for Christmas is V-Bucks.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
V-Bucks.
Well, Christmas is over, bro. So
Christmas.
you're.
I always like my dad always says I always say, can I add something on my Christmas list? And
I was like, it's not Christmas, it's a birthday. So.
And I told him, you know what I mean. You know it. You understand
All right, so
my lingo.
we also have been blessed with new Star Wars. You mentioned it, Isaac. Like we have new Star Wars now till a long time. At least end
of April, right?
End of April with Mando. Yeah. So we have
What's Mando?
Mandalorian season 3.
No, I can't wait to see Grogu.
We got.
I need Grogu.
So we got Bad Batch. Bad Batch goes
till the end of March.
End of March, right? So
we'll have the overlap of Mando and Bad Batch.
So yeah, that's starting. So here's the deal. Episode 11 is March 1st. That is the day Mando comes out. So for 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15, 16 is a double drop. We will have Bad Batch and Mando at the same time. And not to get any too crazier, but we got Jedi Survivor coming out, the Jedi Fallen Order sequel coming out March 17th. It's too much.
So much excitement.
Yes, we played that game.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yes, that's probably one of my favorite
Star Wars games. Have you played that game? Have we talked about that?
We have, and I have not played it.
Well, my friend, you got 2 months to get it in, man.
You basically have to start.
Just buy a console, make it happen. You know,
wait, you don't have a console?
Tell the wife, hey, this is important.
I do not have a console, so
yeah, I know this is like important Star Wars research, as we have to say. It's like
question.
Yeah.
So, what kind of console do you want?
Oh, well,
that is a good question.
Yeah.
I would honestly, I'd probably get a PlayStation. Partially just because I had a PlayStation growing up.
Got it.
So
that makes sense.
So we had a PlayStation 2 growing up. So I'd probably just go with that, partially just because I was familiar with that.
Yeah, there you go.
Sort of thing.
PS5 is they're both, honestly, right at this point, they're both solid machines. It's not
like Xbox and PS.
They're good machines. You're not going wrong either way.
The newest Xbox when you download like 5 gigabytes, it's bad. It's like glitchy. Like if you install 2 games, it's like glitchy.
Oh yeah, well it takes it's our internet more than the console. But
yes, it is. The console overheats. Like every time I play Fortnite, I hear the stupid fan going on.
Well,
like,
yeah.
How many times have I been playing Fortnite?
You weren't around with the Xbox 360 when we had the Red Ring of Death. So
what's the Red Ring of Death?
A whole different story. A whole different time. All right, let's get on topic. Here we go. We're gonna talk Bad Batch season 2. We have two episodes to cover. We have Spoils of War and Ruins of War. So we pick up with Spoils of War, and we get basically the opening of the trailer. And we have like these Super Mario crabs or whatever. They're like big old spiked shell crabs.
They're like I'm glad it's crabs. If there were hermit crabs, I love hermit crabs.
I know. Well, they weren't hermit crabs. These are regular crab guys.
I know.
So
I don't like crabs.
We find out that the clones are kind of teaching Omega some school. She's trying to learn her ships. She's got to do her studies.
Yeah.
And then like, come on.
Yeah, she's like, why are we doing this? Come on. And then all of a sudden, 3 of them come out of the trees kind of remind me of they're like in, I mean, sometimes I guess it could be in the bayou, but they got the real weird roots that are in the
bayou.
The water, you know what I'm saying? I forget what they're called.
Yeah, I watched it on National Geographic.
Where they come back up almost? Or
yeah. I don't know what trees they're called.
Like a swampy type. Yeah.
We'll call them swamp trees, but they're kind of cool. They got cool stuff.
They're swamp. They're in swamp and like kind of jungles and like little and like the.
They are. I know we watched some National Geographic where like I remember watching some sloth swimming and they're in there or something like that. So. Yeah. I don't know. They're everywhere, but there's those cool trees with the roots that are kind of exposed. So they get out of this jam. Omega helps him out. She's pretty.
She's fishing almost. She's fishing too.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I got a big one, and it's just a freaking crab.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say it.
Yeah.
It was just out of my mind.
Yeah. So we get through that little bit. That was fun. And then we, of course, they got a job. They go back to Sid's. And Sid has a pirate there. I think her name is Fee with a PH. Because it got to be Star Wars. It can't be Fee. It's got to be Phee. And she just kind of basically calls out that they're, even though they're clones, they're different. So we got that little bit, and then she's got a job, and we're gonna go to Sereno. So Sereno is what, Isaac?
It is Count Dooku's homeworld.
There you go.
And where his castle is, or I don't know if they call it his castle or whatnot, but that we see in the Clone Wars. So that was because we saw it in the trailer. We saw his like castle thing. I was like, so I was kind of surprised we went there that quick. But I was like, I'm down for it. It was good stuff.
Right. So Sid basically says, hey, the Empire is down there and they're getting his war chests. Plural. So you're like, oh, so what a war chest is basically spoils of war, which is the title of the episode. What? And so we have basically he's collected all the stuff, and we're like, oh, okay, this is cool. But when we get there, it's like a lot of stuff. It's not just like a couple containers. It's like a bunch of containers.
Yeah. It's basically like if there was a bunch of money, I would just like if I was a clone trooper, or if I was like I acted like a troll trooper, but the chip was out, I would just like do. I would take
throw a couple credits in the side, little pocket, little side pocket.
I would probably say I had to transfer it to a ship.
I have to go to the bathroom.
No, I would say I had to transfer this to a ship. It's in special order, and it's my ship. I take all the money.
Oh man, you're funny. So we find out. So they kind of scout it out, and they show Sereno like the city is blown up.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Again, it's here's a news flash, the Empire is bad. They are bad guys, So not only taking Count Dooku's stuff from his family, because again, before he was a Jedi, his family is basically the rulers of Sereno, and they are very wealthy. But now, not only did they, now they're taking all that wealth for themselves. Like, hey, it's ours. He's dead. It's ours now. And then they destroyed like the capital city around there or whatever. So it's like, okay. So now basically we kind of have like a little stealth mission, a little stealth mission, try to get into one of the containers. Of course it can't go right. This would only be a 10-minute show if everything went boom, boom, like get it all done. Yeah. So what happens, Isaac? What happens here?
Well, Wrecker decides to stun a stormtrooper, and he doesn't show back up on schedule. And then the stormtroopers are alerted to something going on. So
yes.
And then
We've seen this before. Yeah.
Like, why did he have to knock him out? Like,
well, because he was in patrol and he's going to be looking in that container where they're at, trying to get.
So what was another way he could have done it?
Well, they could have like closed the door a little bit more. I don't know. Again, it's tomato. They would have been found out eventually. So, but so now it's Echo, Tech, and Omega and Wrecker in the container, right?
Yes.
And then they grab one container. So Wrecker comes out of the big container, and they have like a small container. I know, lots of contaers. They have a tote. Let's put it that way. They have a tote of stuff.
I know.
They have a tote of stuff, and Hunter is kind of outside. And he's like, okay, we're trying to scout everything, and he's kind of the distraction. He's planning explosives. They explode, and now
the guy just looks around like
right. So now the troopers are drawn to Wrecker and Hunter, and now Omega, Tech, and Echo are in the container, and it going bye. So the whole ship. This is a new ship. This is a new ship that we get to see some Imperial ship. It was cool. I thought the design was cool.
You said like it's gonna be bye bye. It sounds like Santa
Santa bye bye.
It's like Santa bye bye.
So now they're ascending, obviously to the Star Destroyer or whatever they have stationed there. It doesn't go right, but Omega, she uses her brains. It says, "Hey, what kind of ship is this?" And she understands, like, "Hey, they have escape pods. Let's go to escape pods." Guess what the Imperials do right away? They jettison all the escape pods.
This is the clone troopers. You just slap it.
Hit those buttons. Beep, 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 beep.
No, you just slap every single red button you see.
Yeah. Well, they want to make it Imperial designs real simple. It's like boop, 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 beep, and then there you go.
Yeah, it's like an easy like a child could do.
Yep. So then now they're struggling. It's not good. And so Hunter, because they try to get on the container too, right? They're on the outside of the ship, really high.
Yeah, like
super high. Super high with no parachute. Like I would be peeing in my pants.
Wrecker's obviously freaking out because we know he's afraid of heights already. So
what do you mean he's scared of heights?
He is scared of heights. He's a big boy, but he's still scared of heights.
I'm scared of
what
heights.
Did you think of the scene, Isaac? I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna die.
Yeah, I was like, where is this going? And then I was like, what? Well, especially when Hunter fell and like grabbed Wrecker's leg or the bottom rung of that. Yeah. I was like, this isn't good. So, but it was interesting to see how and then that led to them landing on top of the castle, Count Dooku's castle thing and stronghold and them going into there. But I was like, this is not going to go well.
Could be bad. So now they concentrate on Wrecker and Hunter, and they're in a firefight in Count Dooku's castle. It's fun seeing Count Dooku's castle. I wish we saw some more Dooku in his pajamas, but that's for you want to check that out. That's in Clone Wars.
What do you mean he's in his pajamas?
Well, Asia and her dark sisters, they go try to assassinate Dooku, and he's in his PJs. And he's in total boss mode when he's in PJs. He's just like, whatever, man. And I got this.
And the other thing about like if I'm scared of heights, but if I have something like a safety harness or like a parachute, I'm fine.
You're fine. Yeah, you're just like, oh yeah, I want to jump out of a plane. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, like a skydive, be like, wee. like Call of Duty style.
Yeah, right. So they get in a little trap. There's a little trap door right behind Dooku's little throne, I guess, or little chair.
He stomps on it a little, or he stomps on it, and there's a little like an octagon or like a.
Yeah, it's like an It's like a secret elevator. But Wrecker, being Wrecker who he is, he just stomps on it, and they go. Whoop, and they go all the way down.
No, he presses the button. He just No, he doesn't stomp on it. He smashes the buttons and.
Well, no, because Hunter's trying to do it on the console. He's trying to do it the right way. And he's like, we need tech. We don't have tech. So then Hunter's trying to do his thing. And then Wrecker's like, I got it. And he just jumps on it. And they all.
And I think one thing I was going to point out with that scene there, when they first walked into that, his main room that we recognize from Clone Wars, I think get the right one. Whatever. Wrecker. He said something like, "Oh, this place gives me the creeps" or whatever, and I just thought that was interesting, referencing to the dark side and how that had been manifested and all that. I just thought that was well done how they incorporated that.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
What do you mean he's scared?
He's sensitive to the darkness that is there, which is interesting.
What do you mean sensitive to the dark?
Hey, bad things happen here because Count Dooku's not really a nice guy.
And he's scared of bad guys almost. And the powerful bad Sith, some Sith are.
So and then really this one really ends on a cliffhanger. Good thing to give us two episodes. Because really what happens, so then they flash back really quickly to Tech, Omega, and Echo. It's hard to keep track sometimes, but those three are in the container, and basically Omega says these ones have repulsors that will help guide us down. So They all agree. Let's get in the container and release all. They basically override everything and release all the containers. So all the war chests, all the containers are flying past.
This is dumb. Like, I can believe
I can fly, right. And that's how the episode ends. It's like, what? They're just plummeting to the ground of Sereno. It's like, okay.
Imagine like when we just start, like it's like just throw them to the ground and just like and then,
right.
And it's
Hunter splats, Wrecker splats, they all splat. End of season 2.
Yay!
Boom. No.
You get one episode.
Yeah, one episode. Oh man, that was awesome. Thanks, guys.
Imagine like they just like it's like centimeters from the ground and they're like,
bye bye.
And this is dumb. Imagine they hit the ground so hard they go up and they're like,
yeah, that would be bad. All right, so so Ruins of War is episode 2. Like I said, good thing we had this one because we'd be like, no.
We would basically grab our cheesies and throw.
I was just glad I didn't have to wait a week.
Right. Yeah,
in my mind, they would have been falling for a whole week. I'm like, where are they going?
What's happening? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, that would be like
it's like a slow mo. No.
And it's like actually.
They're still screaming in there. Yeah.
It's like it's like a millisecond.
Yeah, like every. Beep, beep,
like every millisecond.
Yeah,
but
in your head, you're just like, oh, they're still falling.
And you're like.
So the official description for this one is the batch must decide who to trust as they plan their escape. All right, so again, we have the descent. We recognize that. They fall. They land precariously on a cliff, and they're kind of hanging off. And Omega obviously understands the job and the risk. They really need just some booty, some kind of something from the war chest. Yes, pirate chests
are called
booty.
Hey, no, that's a little sauce.
It's all booty.
No.
Yeah.
I just watched Trent's eyes go like, huh? What did my dad just say?
Yeah, booty.
Like I was looking at
it's called like pirate booty. It's like the spoils of the war. They always love treasure chests.
Yeah, but you I was like, hey, yo, you're a little sus, man.
I'm not being sus.
Yeah, you are. It's basically called. It's like where do you?
It's the official term for.
I know what you're talking about. It's just you made it sound weird.
All right,
my cup is really satisfying.
Okay, good.
Because it's out of the
It's a brand new cup. Yeah,
and it looks from like Starbucks. But I don't drink from Starbucks. It's from Walmart. So I got a knockoff of it. When I touch it, it feels so nice.
It feels nice. Okay, good. Well, we'll leave you with your cup as me and Isaac discuss the rest of the show. Here we go. So, we have Captain Wilco, which is one of the clones that is. He's got the big pauldron. Yes, and he's like, hey, we're searching for these guys.
I'm not out
now,
yet.
Hunter, I know you're not. I'm just being funny.
I know you are.
Hunter and Wrecker are now also, they got down to the city. So they are basically, okay, we're going to try to get through the city to get to our ship.
Yes.
You know, and then Omega, Tech, and Echo are getting out of the container. At that time, we've seen this too, like even in Andor, one of the containers falls on Tech. He breaks his leg.
And he's like,
he says, "Ow."
That's all he says.
Well, no, he kind of basically says he basically gets kind of nerdy and is like, well, the pressure of the container at that speed, basically broke his femur.
Yeah, like he's like
he has a real chill. He's like, yeah, I broke my leg.
I'm pretty sure that's not how I would have reacted to that.
No.
Right. Ow.
No, he's like, he holds it in, but he's like,
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. So now they have to get out of there. They do. The container falls, and Omega couldn't get what she wanted from.
She's like, I want treasure.
We saw diamonds and Imperial credits and all kinds of fun stuff in that. It's like, oh, that is a lot of money.
We need the money.
Yeah. So then they get to. They're trying to get to somewhere where they can get cover, and dude shows up.
Yeah.
A dude that is a Sereno. I don't know if they. All right, I'm looking at Wikipedia. Romar
Adele.
Yes, Romar Adele.
Just go a little back of the treasure. Is it toward the end when she's like, I heard you and blah 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 talking about
Yes, that's at the end of this episode, right?
End of this episode. Yep, you got it. So Ramar's like, hey, there's no one here, but then Tech's like, the heat signature source is like, all right, yeah.
He's like, how did you know that?
Yeah, I got a house over here. So
he's like, how did you know that? Like,
yeah, exactly. So reluctantly, Romar's like, all right, you can come back to my pad and crash. And it's not much. It's like, it almost looks like a deserted outpost, if you will.
Yeah,
it's not much. But in this part, we get, I think, again, this is where Star Wars shines. I think it's like, I'm staying here because I'm Sereno and I'm here to stay. And that's technically not the Empire's treasure. That is our treasure because Count Dooku stole it from us, so they like, you kind of get that cyclical thing of like, this was our stuff, and now Count Dooku profited of us, and now the Empire's profiting off of Count Dooku, and it's kind of that you understand the ramifications of war, and he wants to be with his people. That's where he lives. He doesn't want to go anywhere else, and so I thought that was really cool. I think that's very telling of Star Wars. I love those little kind of deep cuts where it's like, yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yes.
And then Omega finds what we would call a kaleidoscope, basically a little toy thing.
I love those. They're fun to look at. Like they're like, but it's like sometimes they're all different, but like sometimes it just spins and it's like, whoa, that's cool. Almost.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a very simple toy. But what's interesting about this too is like, here's another kind of thing I would say is that Omega isn't a kid because she's never experienced kid-like things, and like this is a toy, and that was kind of a
toy for her,
that loss of innocence, which is interesting too. What do you think of that, Isaac?
Yeah, I thought, because during that whole scene, she's like, oh, we could go recover the city, we could go do this or that to help him out, and like she always has this very serious, like, they need to complete the mission.
Yes.
And even what Trent referenced that happens at the end of the episode with like Echo and all that, just like there's that seriousness, and so it's just interesting to see that she's always been ingrained in that, and she doesn't have that childhood per se.
Right, but she's drawn to it because she's never seen anything like that. This is different than something you read on a data pad or something like that. Which, kids, get off your phones, there's other things out there, but it's something that she's never seen before, and I think that's super cool.
This is her. This is her inside. This is her. Mind
blown.
She's like confused at first, and then like when she looks at it, mind blowing.
Yeah, so now we have like a full on search for Wrecker and Hunter. We get to see some V-wings. Love some V-wings. That's V-wings, the V-wings is in between the shuttles and then the TIE fighter that we eventually see. But we get some V-wings, and then we have there's another thing that's going on at Tech's thing, or in Romar's place. He has this kind of data thing. I think here in Wikipedia calls it a data core, which basically helps. It has like a lot of information on it from his family, and he's trying to fix it, and Tech fixes it in like 2 seconds.
And he's like, oh my gosh, this is him.
So like, Omega still on mission, still on point. She's kind of sneaks out of there as they're fixing this, and because obviously Tech is incapacitated, he's only he can't move around, and so Omega kind of repels herself down, try to get some booty. Yeah, she's trying to get something from this mission. And then we have speeder bikes show up and all that fun stuff, and they take care of them. Boom, boom, boom.
I still think you're sus.
It's a word.
I know, but still, like sometimes, like off camera, you're still sus too. You're a little sus.
All right. And you have to catch me out, just like whatever. All right, so now we have Hunter and Wrecker, they find some tanks from the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars is one of the I can't decide of my favorite Star Wars movies. They're all shows I can't decide because they're all good.
They're all good.
The one of the good from the Clone Wars, like the Clone Wars season is it's basically like humans versus robots almost. But
yeah. But it's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. So now Wrecker finds basically a side cannon from one of the tanks.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
And they fix it up real quick. Boom, boom, boom.
He's
and
like,
Wrecker, I mean, the thing about Wrecker is like he's so strong. It doesn't matter what the size is. Like, oh yeah, this is easy. It looks like he's got like one of those big old super soakers. He's like, yeah, let's do this.
And like the other thing is like he's like he knows explosives too. He's smart about explosives.
Yeah, he likes the booms.
He's studied about explosives too. Like
that's one of his kind of like each one has their own little niche, and Wrecker likes the booms.
He's like, I like Canadian.
Yeah. So
and he's punching a battery. He's like, here you go. He's like, I know. He just grabbed his battery. That's basically him talking.
Is that how Wrecker talks?
No, that's how it seems like because he's like.
Yeah, he's very childlike. Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's all you need, and he just sounds like he's grown up, but he acts sometimes like a child, but he acts like it's like he's kind of not as smart as all of them. The rest, but he's like that's how it kind of makes it sound like he's like, oh, that's all we need. I know what to do. And he pops in a battery and then waits for charge. And he's like, oh, it's like a toy RC car. It's like a toy little
yeah, I mean it's like a super soaker. I mean, he's like, so they take out the other clones that are kind of chasing after him.
And the guys are like, no, they're like running like chickens.
And then I'm trying to think what happens next there, Isaac. What happens here? So they shoot down. They get.
Do they get to the? They get to the ship.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. That's right. Yep. Yep. And they kind of get everybody together. And then really this last part is pretty awesome.
Yes.
It's talk about sauce. So we see Vice Admiral Rampart is his name. And he is talking to Captain Wilco. Who is basically the clone leader of the squad, and
we didn't explain everything like the last the turrets and the other stuff. We didn't talk about that.
Well, no, they blew up those clones and got out of there.
Oh yeah,
They're
true.
Like, get us out of there.
Yeah, and so Omega's like she's like I heard you with who's the head leader of Hunter, and she's like I heard you with Hunter. He's like don't forget about it. I don't like. He didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
She still heard him.
Yeah, still heard him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, but Rampart talks to Wilco. Wilco's like, "Hey, we got 85% of the chests. We're still recovering them." And then Rampart's like, "You mentioned Clone Force 99, who were officially confirmed dead on Kamino. Obviously, Kamino, they barely got out of there.
Yeah, they barely.
Yeah, there was the big eel thingy and all kinds of stuff. Pretty much all Kamino sunk because they destroyed it from orbit. It was not good. It was not a good.
How did he recover from that?
They got on some platform. Remember they went.
I know, but like the whole Kamino. How did he recover?
Kamino's gone. Well,
yeah,
kind of.
Yeah.
Topeka City's gone.
Yeah, the Topeka City is definitely gone. Not off Kamino, but the main cloning facility is destroyed.
Yes.
Right. So Wilco's like, yeah, I saw them. We have 2 confirmed. Like I saw them with my own eyes. And Rampart's like, well, if they are alive, then our boy Tarkin's not gonna be happy with me. And
who's Tarkin, the cyber guy?
Tarkin's the real creepy old guy.
Oh yeah, Tarkin. Yeah,
you may fire when ready.
And he's slimy. He's like slimy.
Yeah, Tarkin is probably the most scariest guy without a mask. He is like slimier than slime.
Like it's or boogers.
Or boogers. Right.
He's slimier than he's slimier than snow. Like he's slimier than soap, butter. And everything.
all the stuff.
Yeah, he's slimier than that.
He's slimy. And so Rampart shoots Wilco. We get this kind of, I think it's a cool shot. You get the long shot where you see kind of Wilco falling, and it's just like,
is this the same?
Bro. Yeah. So
and
talk about sus. He didn't want Tarkin to be sus of him because again, let's talk about lying for a second because so he's covering up something that is true, and he's lying about it. They're gonna find out that Tarkin will find out this season that Clone Force 99 is alive,
and he's gonna
so Rampart is trying to cover up a little bit.
It's like basically spinning your gum in the grass and covering up
so
dirt or something.
It's not too bold of a prediction that the lie will be found out, and Rampart he might meet his demise as well. So kids and adults, don't lie, because just say the truth and it'll come out, even though it might not be good, because this is not good. They said, hey, Clone Force 99, that problem's gone. Now they're back.
Yeah, no, Earth's thing is like it's basically
he's trying to cover up.
Yeah, it's basically spin your gum in the dirt, and like somebody said not to, and he just covers it up with dirt. It's kind of it's basically covering up your dirt.
Right, you're covering up something. Yeah, so it's gonna be found.
They're gonna barely like what's squishy.
So we're talking about the gum.
Yeah, it's basically like Tarkin. He's gonna run after him and tackle him.
Like, how dare you throw that gum out in the dirt?
Yeah, there was a gum.
I didn't know this was the correlation, but I totally understand.
Yeah, and he just runs after him, just like tackles him, and he's like, "What?"
Imperial Regulations 1.5559 says, "Do not spit out your gum in the dirt," and you covered it up.
Yeah, and Tarkin just tackles him.
Yeah, but he did something worse. He killed a clone.
Yeah, he would tackle him and just beat up him.
And part of this, don't you think, Isaac, too? Don't you think part of this is that the clones are very, very regimented? Like they are good soldiers that follow orders, and I think with this new empire, even though it is rules and standards and stuff like that, there's a little gray area where you might need to finagle stuff.
What's finagle stuff?
It's basically do not follow everything by the book.
Bend some rules.
Yeah, and Rampart, again, we saw that when they captured the Twi'lek family and all that, just like throw them away. And again, we see that in Andor. Like they say, oh, Andor's trying to get some Slurpees, and he's like, he's gone. They're like, hey, this guy's like acting like a Jedi or something, or a threat to the threat to. I think the Arbresh said that he was a Jedi or a potential Force user, and it's like 6 years in prison. You're like, he was just walking down the street, sweating. Sir, you're running. It's like hot out.
Yeah, and the other thing, it's
the Empire definitely is a lot of gray. What were you gonna say?
Well, some that kind of happens with Obi-Wan, kind of like because it's a lot of covering up and like a lot of lies too. That's the thing too about Obi-Wan too.
Oh, Obi-Wan, yes, you're right.
It's like Darth Vader's like he's coming down the path where he's choking somebody.
Yes,
that is probably one of the coolest moments. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it is cool.
Yeah, I met one of the actors. I met what's her name? Vivian Blair. She was the nice.
He met young Princess Leia.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. Okay, so that's how it ends.
Yes.
Wilco falls. Rampart's like, we're covering this up, and boom. And so, where do you want to see this go, Isaac? Where do you see this going?
Yeah, I think there's a few things I kind of hope we see here in the next. But first off, I would say I think we got a really cool we almost even got a little bit of a Rebels feel. I feel like in these two episodes, which I liked. And so one, I just want to see how the Bad Batch navigates the Empire, and what they do, where they end up, and that sort of thing. And also because we know we have Commander Cody confirmed in this, we have Rex, so we'll get to see those.
Did Rex get tripped?
No, Rex is clean. Rex is clean. Yeah.
So we'll see them as well. So I'm just excited to see those characters again. And I think the other thing I'm interested in seeing throughout this season, and I think was briefly mentioned, I'm not sure by who, but I think it was one of the Bad Batch, where they talked about how the Empire moving from clone troopers to stormtroopers, and kind of seeing like, do we get to see a little bit more how the clone troopers are phased out, if there was something significant that happened? And I also wonder if that'll be part of how Crosshair gets brought back into this and how all that plays out. And so I'll be very intrigued to see how some of that and how Crosshair plays into that, and what Crosshair, because I assume that's going to be something Crosshair has to walk through and figure out for himself.
Right.
Do you mean stormtroopers then clone troopers, or you said it backwards?
No. So clone troop, we know when we meet Luke, Han, and the whole gang in the original trilogy, they're stormtroopers.
Yes,
right?
He said Clone Wars then stormtroopers.
Yeah, so clones eventually get phased out into regular stormtroopers. Part of the reason is obviously we just saw in Bad Batch where they destroyed the cloning facility.
Yeah.
So Kamino, I mean, doesn't mean that cloning is not dead, but Kaminos are very good at it, and that's where majority of the clone troopers came from. So now that is kind of destroyed, and that whole process is destroyed, they are recruiting regular people for that basically turn into stormtroopers. So there's still a ton of clones out there. So that's what he's kind of talking about.
Yeah,
like
my fault.
what? Yeah, no, it's good. That's all good.
No, you're good. Yeah. So I think that'll just be interesting. Yeah. So
I think that's what we talked about before. Is with Crosshair is our biggest question mark. Is like, because it was real sketchy. You know,
at the first season,
he didn't like them, or he liked them, then he didn't really like them, and then at the end of the Kamino scene, like they help each other out to get to the end to both survive. And then Omega is basically like, he is still your brother. Like, he is still, don't kill him, or, whatever. And so they kind of part ways,
and the other thing, as like Omega has like, when she jumps in the cockpit, she has like Wrecker's little stuffed animal.
I know.
And why did Wrecker give it up to her?
Because it was getting pretty dicey back then. So
I know, but still, Wrecker she can handle it.
We like the stuffies, yes, we do.
I like how it's like.
I think that's, for me, that's the biggest question, is like, where's Crosshair?
Yes.
Does he come back? Does he help them out? Does he continue to see the decline of the Empire? Because I think that was one of my favorite scenes in Bad Batch season 1, was when a couple of the clone troopers like defected, like when they're on Ryloth. I just love that part. It's like, hey, this is not what I signed up to be. Like, and I really
like you see every clone trooper like falling
down. There was that, I don't know, there was a squad in Ryloth, and they're taking some of the Twi'leks away, and the one guy's like, I'm not doing this. And they there was about 8 of them that stood up and said, I'm not doing this, and they got arrested and they walked off. And I'm just like, this is cool. This is what I love.
Who's the main leader? Who was that, Rex, or who was that stand up?
No, it was just a clone, one of the clones. He's like, I'm not doing this. And I think that's I think that's where obviously we see the difference between robots and clones.
Yes.
And then now we're seeing the difference between clones and basically humans that like to bend the rules. Is kind of where we're going,
They're basically bending the rules.
Because they're like, hey, we want to oppress people, and that's not cool. And that's basically what the Empire is doing. So.
I actually wondering, since you mentioned that, where are they right now? Like they stood up. Like, are they in jail still already? Like where are they right now? Like,
I think, if we know the Empire, they're probably either in jail or they got terminated. Yeah. We don't know. And maybe that, I don't know. Maybe that's something we see. I don't know if they would go that far, because it's still kind of a kid show, but do they terminate some of these clones? I don't know.
It's not a kid show. It kind of is, but like, let's be real.
This isn't Barney. This is not Barney, but this is like
Barney.
Right. This is not Sesame Street, but it's still. It's still animation. It's still designed for kids. It's not.
Still, the original, like the first ever Star Wars movie, they see guts and blood on they see blood on the what's it called,
Ponda Baba, Walrus Man.
Not the Walrus Man. It's that true, but And like on Hoth, they see.
Oh, well, he's eating a tauntaun. He was having a tauntaun nugget.
It's 4 kids. There's literally blood on there.
I know.
Why did they said? Oh, like back in the day. Oh, if it has a little blood, it's still kids. Now if it has like a smidge of blood, they're like, get that out of there. This is not for kids. It's true though.
Right. There's a little bit.
True.
There's a little flex with PG. That's why it's called PG, because it's parental guidance.
Yeah,
so,
I watched PG 14, 13.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. So I think we're interested about Crosshair. I really like what you were saying as far as like how we see that transition. I think that's a big thing. So
yes.
The other good thing, I mean, we got 16 episodes, so it's not like we only got 8. This is gonna be a full season, which is gonna be fun. And I don't know what I'm gonna do about March 1st. My brain might just like.
Yeah, a lot going on.
There's too much going on.
Dad, we need to watch. If I see Baby Yoda, I love it. Like one of my classmates, she is obsessed with Baby Yoda. Like it says, she has like a Baby Yoda backpack, water bottle.
Water bottle, T-shirts, hats.
She basically sneaks in like zero. She basically sneaks in 0 sugar Sprite.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
and she like barely shakes it, and it's bubbling out of the thing, so that it's soda. It's either way. if like say like you shake up my water,
it's soda.
It doesn't bubble. Like,
all right, we got you. Okay, so we have a little trivia. All right, so this trivia for the week, we call this Light It All Up. What is the name? No, don't say it out loud. We did mention it. What is the name of the Imperial that shot the clone that fell here on episode 2? So give us an email at bigtlilT@gmail.com.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
Don't look it up. We need the name. Give us the name.
If you look it up, you're basically you're out.
Well, we sent an episode, so if they're paying attention, boom.
And the other thing is we need to did we give away that prize?
We did.
Yeah, who got it?
That's a great question.
You're like, oh my gosh, we need to sign up another prize or something?
Yeah, well, no, we definitely, somebody answered our trivia question for Andor, and we gave it away.
And like we gave it to the other guy. We asked like he got it right, and we sent it to his like address. And he's like, no, I don't want you to know my address.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. That's all right.
And the other thing is, I would love to answer a trivia question.
Ryan, thank you, Ryan. We sent it out, Ryan, a little before Christmas there. So you got the question right. It was about what was the question was. Hold on, let me get it right here. It was, what was the original name of the ship that we saw that basically took what's his face? Now I'm seeing it's so far away. Andor, who was the deals? Who was the guy? Who was the deal? The deal guy. The deals. Jeez, I'm really butchering this.
I'm drawing a complete like.
You're like it was literally the last show.
I know. We're so bad Star Wars fans.
This is you're like it's basically
the guy that basically recruited Andor. That guy.
Yeah.
He gets pulled out of hyperspace, and it's called a Cantwell Arrestor Cruiser. But that design of the ship was the original Star Destroyer ship, and it was called the Sith Cruiser.
Nice.
Yeah, so Ryan got that right. So
nice.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Anyways, jeez, that was tough. So, anyways, the name of the Imperial.
A little brain damage.
Yeah, we were a little brain damage.
A couple of brain cells lost. Like sometimes if you have a smooth brain, you've lost all your brain. Like it's basically brain cells.
Luthen,
there we go.
This is you now. Wow.
Thank you, Internet. Gosh.
You're like, wow, this is.
I couldn't leave the episode without making sure I got that right. Okay. So thanks again for listening to another episode of Big T Little T.
Star Wars Podcast.
Yeah. We can find us on the socials, Big T Little T Podcast on Instagram, BLILT Podcast on Twitter, and then follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Big T Little T. Again, we got stickers, so if you comment, rate us on Apple Podcasts,
we might give you
email us at bigtliltpodcast@gmail.com, or if you know the trivia question, we'll definitely send you some swag your way. Isaac, where can people find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ike's Flame, a Star Wars story or Star Wars adventure, and Yeah, and go check out wherever you guys listen to your podcast. Go check out Ice Flame on whatever podcast platform, and come hang out with us on Tuesdays. So yeah,
you drop Tuesdays.
We drop Tuesday mornings. So
all right, there you go. Anything coming up of interest? What do you got planned?
Well, we got for February here or January, we're going to be looking at the Mortis story arc in Clone Wars. So we're going to take 3 episodes and do that. We'll come back to just re-look at Bad Batch here at the end of the month. And then in February, because we got Mandalorian in March, we'll just be getting excited for Mandalorian and looking at different Mando characters such as Mando and Bo-Katan and all that. So
nice. That sounds awesome. Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on again. Yes. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you guys for having me. It's always fun.
We're doing virtual handshakes.
Virtual handshake? Okay.
High five. Yeah.
And imagine you just touch the screen and it goes through.
Oh, that'd be scary.
How would that be scary? Just
I don't know. That'd be a little weird.
It'd be a little weird.
Yeah. How did my arm go?
That seems like
hundreds of miles.
That seems like some Rey and Kylo in the sequels going on there.
True.
Like here, we're gonna go.
and you're like,
we're doing it through the force.
Do this. And this is you jump back and it goes you go a couple feet
That's true. That's exactly what it would have been, Isaac. It's like why are you touching my hand?
Let me touch your fingies. Let me touch your little fingies.
Oh man. All right. So now this obviously for us we'll probably be covering some Bad Batch coming up.
Yes.
And like you said, getting excited for Mando season 3. So
I can't wait to see Baby Yoda and Mando. That's all I want to see.
I'm really excited for Jedi Fallen Order.
The last time we seen Mando and Baby Yoda was in
Book of Boba.
I love how Yoda and the Rancor just took a little nap together.
Yeah, they took a little snooze.
But wait, was the Rancor did he felt hurt him or was he?
Grogu, we've seen this in like Anakin also has this ability. I don't know the exact Force name, but essentially can tame wild beasts. So he just went to the Rancor. It's like, hey bro, let's take a snappy nap and have some chicken nuggies.
And he just lightly touched him. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. And it's just the Rancor, and he's like. And then Baby
it's like, hey man, let's take a nap.
And Baby Yoda's like,
maybe we can get some space macaroons or something.
Imagine Baby Yoda just go imagine the macaroon for the Rancor.
It's like a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, Baby Yoda just goes up. Baby Yoda just goes up to him. He's like, thank you. And he just snuggles up and he's that was out.
I love that scene.
Yeah. That was awesome. And it was while they're driving, when the girls and Baby was like, here, and the girls like, here you go, and Baby Yoda's like, yay! I found my dad.
Yeah.
And this is him. And this is Baby Yoda and Grogu. They're
they're the same. They're the same person. Baby Yoda and Grogu are the same person.
Baby Yoda and Mando.
Baby Yoda and Mando. I knew that. I knew where you're going.
And they're like, let's go.
Yeah. So we're excited to see some space dad action here. So.
That's probably that. I like Grogu to you, and you're like Mando.
Oh, okay.
Grogu.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey.
All right. So what do we usually say to end this thing?
Okay. May the force be with you always. Bye.
You forgot the thing before the thing.
The sign off.
Sign off. This is our sign off.
Oh.
Truly.
I know. Truly wonderful. The mind of a child is.
There we go.
May the force be with you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Isaac. Thank you so much.
Hey guys.
See, that was a messed up.